Hey everybody, it's the end of 2025 and I thought I'd talk about how I used AI this past year, what worked, what didn't, and in the next video, what I'm going to do differently next year. My name is Maria Korolov. I'm a technology journalist. I've been covering enterprise technology for over 20 years, and most recently, I've been focusing on enterprise use of artificial intelligence. And as a result, I kind of am in multiple camps simultaneously with regards to AI. So if you're looking for an unbiased voice, I'm pretty much as neutral as they come because I am like all over the place. I'm all over the place. So, first of all, at my day job, when I write articles for my editors, I do not use AI because AI makes mistakes, because my editors pay me to write my articles as opposed to just asking ChatGPT for the articles. If it's the same article, why are they paying me? Because I don't want to misquote people. And if ChatGPT takes a quote out of context, it could be very, very bad. AI is not good enough yet to take my job, but it is bad enough to destroy my career. So I'm being very, very careful on that end of it. So if I use, say, AI as part of my researching, like with Perplexity AI, to do some deep background research, I go to the original sources. I read the original papers. I compare the research reports that I get from there, from Google, from uh, checking other archives that I personally am aware of, going to ResearchGate and other places, going directly to the analyst firms, requesting their reports, etc., etc. It is part of my research toolkit. And then I double check all the original sources. And then when writing the article, when interviewing people, that's all me. So that's on the day job side. The flip side of that is that I also talk to publishing companies. I talk to IT executives at publishing firms, and they tell me that they are all in on AI. Not at the level where I am, but at the back office level where the corporate decisions are being made. They're training everybody on AI. They are building their own AI systems using their own proprietary data. They are investigating all sorts of different potential options. They are doing stuff with AI and they're already getting value out of it on in back office processes like tech support or customer support or analytics or however they're using it, marketing, research, etc. It's not quite there yet to take the place of front end reporting, but on the back end, companies are already investing in it heavily. I've talked to Reuters a couple of different times about how they're using AI. That's a company I used to work for. And they have products that they're building AI into already. And they have been using AI or some forms of AI and automation in their journalism for a very long time to produce like stock market results and other commodity type of news. So they have been innovating with this for quite a while, and it's only going to continue to increase. Another side of this in a journalism profession is that we're heading towards Google Zero. So that's where Google stops sending search engine traffic to publications because people just read the summaries. And this is especially painful for enterprise, technology, and business publications because it's, let's just say people don't read my articles because of my beautiful literary turns of phrase. They read my articles because they have useful information in them. And when an AI can summarize all that information, like why spend the time reading the whole article when AI can just give you the parts that are relevant to you? And so I kind of can see where people are coming from with that. The downside is with less traffic, less advertising revenues, and also once the AI gets better, publishers are going to start using it for productivity improvements. So we're going to have less traffic and less advertising revenues, less money coming in, combined with increased productivity on the part of editors and writers, which means fewer journalism jobs in traditional media. Now, as with other types of technological innovation, I am very confident that the total number of jobs is not going to go down. It's just going to get moved around. So, the Washington Post did a story on this recently. The number of jobs in journalism, the editorial jobs, have actually increased over the last 30 years. They haven't gone down. But the number of jobs in traditional media, like print newspapers, has dropped precipitously. The jobs have moved. They've moved to online publications. All the publications I write for these days are online only. The jobs moved to YouTube and podcasting and blogging and newsletters and a million other places. So I am confident the same thing's going to happen with AI. It's just we don't know what those jobs are going to be moving to. But just like the journalism jobs that moved out of traditional media moved to various types of online media, there is a high likelihood that the journalism jobs that move out of today's traditional media, which is now online media, are going to move to the new kinds of emerging media. And those might have some kind of AI component in them of some sort that we don't even know yet. Who would have thought that Twitch streaming was going to be a profession? Like in what world is that a real job? But it's a real job and people make real money doing it. So there's going to be opportunities, we just don't know what it is yet. And so those are like three sides of that professional question is, on the one hand, I shouldn't be using AI. On the other hand, the publishing companies are already using AI. And on the third hand, the jobs of the future are going to depend on AI. So either to improve productivity and workflow or in brand new types of media that AI makes possible that we cannot even imagine today. So those are three sides of the journalism question. But there's other ways where you can use AI. For example, personal productivity outside of your work, like planning my week. How much time should I allocate to X, to Y, and to Z? As a freelance writer, I'm in charge of my own schedule, which is a bad thing because I'm bad at scheduling. So maybe AI can help me with this. So far, I have not been successful at using AI to corral my schedule, probably because I'm not organized enough to figure out how to feed it into AI. But it has been a good sounding board for thinking through career path issues. Do I want to have a blog? Do I want to have a podcast? Yes, I do. Do I want to write more fiction books? Maybe do I want to write a nonfiction book? Do I want to find new outlets to write for of the kind I already do? So those kinds of questions. I don't think AI has answers for these questions because nobody knows what those answers are. So why would AI have the answers, like when nobody else does? But it gives me a way to kind of have a sounding board, to think through these issues and to kind of like organize my thoughts in a coherent way. So that is a very, very useful use case and I recommend it. But I've also done the same thing with journaling, with dictating into a recorder while driving around or while going on a walk, or just, talking to friends and family. That also works. Okay, another way that I'm using AI is for idea generation. So by default, AI will give you the most likely answer to your question. But there's ways you can ask the question so that it gives a wider variety of answers. And there's prompting techniques to help you do that. I'm going to link to one such research paper below. that gives some advice for how to structure your prompt so that its responses are more wide ranging. And you can also make the responses more relevant to you by giving it more context, more information about what you're looking for. So it doesn't give you the generic middle of the road response. So that's something that I would do with AI is to have it come up with ideas for things. I don't usually like its ideas, but it gets like the ball rolling, and I'm thinking, oh, that's a stupid idea. A better idea would be this. And it's like, oh yeah, that would be a better idea. So again, kind of like a sounding board situation. Then, what else? Oh, vibe coding. So I've actually written about this for Computer World. Vibe coding apps. A week or two ago, I vibe coded an app that I needed. I wanted a tool that would create a color palette that would give me more than 4 or 5 colors. I wanted to go up to 11. I wanted to be able to upload an image and get color palette from it because I wanted to redesign my database. And none of the tools out there had everything I needed in one place. So I'm like, Claude, write it for me. And it did. And I uploaded it. Claude told me how to. I had to upload one file to my hosting company, and I had an app up, and I wrote an article about the app, and the app was for a brief point on the first page of Google. So I'm very happy about that. And now I'm thinking, what else have I always wanted a tool for, but they were too expensive or didn't quite do what I wanted them to do? Maybe I'll just write it because the color one took the basic version of it took a few minutes to do, and it just worked, and it looked beautiful, and it had all the features that I wanted, including a bunch of features I didn't know I wanted. Claude just added them in just to be nice, and it worked. But then I started adding more stuff to it. So I spent an hour tweaking it because I kept adding more things. I kept thinking of more things I wanted it to do and changing the colors and moving stuff around, fiddling, procrastinating because, I was on deadline. But the basic one took a few minutes and it worked. No bugs, it just worked. So yeah, vibe coding got really, really good. Since the spring, when I first started like trying out different vibe coding platforms to a week ago, it's been such an incredible transformation. And the companies that I talk to, the coding is their number one use case. They use coding assistance to speed up the entire code development process. They use the AI to write drafts of codes, to review code, to create test cases for code, all the things. And it's an assistant right now. It's not a replacement. The number of coding jobs has not shrunk. People are still hiring. You see the headlines of people losing jobs due to AI, but you don't see the headlines of people getting jobs because of AI. Unemployment rate still under 5%. Despite the headlines, we're at functionally full employment. And the AI related jobs are actually growing, not shrinking, and also the wages are going up, not going down. I'll link to the Vanguard report below as well. Yeah, so those are the big things that I used AI for, and and random stuff that is low risk. For example, give me a recipe for a soup that has these ingredients. I know enough about soup to know if AI is trying to poison me. So this is a very low risk use case. And I have been actively trying to find as many low risk use cases as I can for AI so that I know how to talk to it. Once it becomes a part of the journalism career and the journalism standard tool set, I want to be somebody who knows how to use it. I do not want to be left behind because I'm too young to retire. So I'm looking for opportunities to use AI in places where it really doesn't matter. And I think that's kind of like the best place to use AI, where if it goes wrong, it will have no effect on your life. And that's how I learned how to use a GPS. I used it to drive to the supermarket and back until I figured out where all the buttons were and how it worked. So that's kind of how I'm using AI right now, as kind of like the tricycle version of AI, so that I get a sense of how it thinks, and how to interact with it, and I start seeing the potential of what can be done with it, and what media jobs are going to appear at some point as a result of AI, so that I'm ready and I don't get left behind. All right, everybody, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.